I swear, if Tony Stark was not fictional and he was making an Iron Man suit right now, this is precisely how he would do it, and this is the exact technology he'd be using.
For as long as man can remember, we've always wanted to fly. And not just fly, but fly high into the air, into the skies, and even into space and beyond. Man has come a long way from those dreams, and as such, we've honestly been able to make a lot of ways to fly. Some have been small, some have been groundbreaking, but among them all, which ones are truly cool? Allow us to show you 8 of the coolest machines that you can fly. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Private Jet. Let's start with a basic one that honestly reeks of coolness: a private jet. Now, on the surface, this may not seem like much. Private jets are all over the world and used by people and businesses all the time. But that's the thing, the people who own these flying machines are the ones who can afford to get them. Private jets cost millions to own and a lot of money to maintain. But if you're truly rich, really rich, that doesn't matter. In fact, private jets in many ways are a status symbol of wealth.
Everything that I've read, all the research, everything you've told me, it's the safest airplane out there.
To the extent that certain private jets are custom-made for their wielders, including one sultan of a country going so far as to make his private jet golden on the inside because he could.
How's that? This is just the entrance. This is the entry lounge.
Some outfit their jets with space enough to not just host a large party of people, but to basically make it a home that you can fly in. That sounds tempting, doesn't it? Makes you wonder what you would do if you had the money to go and customize your own personal jet.
Look at this.
Wow, is that light? Oh my god.
It's sick. So airplanes do not have carbon fibers, and it's never been possible.
Number 7. Porsche Boeing VTOL. VTOL stands for Vertical Takeoff and Landing Unit, and it's a general term for many kinds of flying vehicles that start off at ground level and rise into the air versus thrusting forward and then going up. Many have tried to make them, but in 2019, Porsche revealed that they were teaming up with Boeing to truly make a VTOL unit of their own. Just as important, it would be one that would have the feel of a sports car, but be totally electric. If you're waiting for a catch, here it is. Porsche has said that these vehicles will be very costly, and as such, would be for the rich.
Are you sure you know how to fly this? No problem.
As they're the only ones who will be able to afford them. But not unlike a private jet, if you can afford them. Yup, you're going to look cool driving these around. Number 6. Rocket Pack / Jetpack. Sci-fi TV shows and movies have fueled the imaginations of many for decades and inspired them to try to make the things they saw on the screen, including when it came to the jetpack or the rocket pack. Seen in various sci-fi shows like The Jetsons, Flash Gordon, and more, the premise of this flying machine is simple. It straps to your back, and via things like rocket fuel or jet fuel, you'll fly through the air without a care. In many people's mind, this was going to be the thing that led us to a future age, to a new age of transportation and more. And that's why so many around the world try to make this contraption with mixed results. The problem? They weren't practical. They were very loud. And of course, they cost a lot of money.
They recently started custom designing and selling them at a price tag of about $440,000 a suit. It'll be out of reach for most.
So after many tries and tests, as well as many different models and variations of the pack, the project was shut down. If you don't believe us, look at the Mythbusters, who not only visited a museum that had some of those flying machines that worked but were scrapped, but tried to make their own and failed, even noting that the real reason you're never going to see one of these things is that there is no backup. Granted, if you worked hard enough, you could make your own that would work, and you would look cool in it. But it's just as sleek and epic as the TV shows and movies of your youth and adult life would lead you to believe. Number 5. Uber Air. This one is more of a future concept that will indeed let you fly, but it's more of a quote-unquote personal transportation way. What we mean by that is that Uber, the company that has been helping you find a ride for a while now, is actually teaming up with the military to go and make a personal flying taxi. And they're calling it Uber Air. A cool name, no doubt. The funny thing about this is that you would operate this service just like you would a regular Uber. You would have the app, You would order a ride, and then it would descend to you and take you to wherever you need to go.
You would then fly 5 or 10 minutes over the most congested part of your journey, and when you landed, there would be another form of transportation to take you to your final destination.
According to Uber, it'll be able to go 2,000 feet off the ground and go 150 miles per hour, offering you not just a quick ride to your destination, but giving you quite a view in the process. They're hoping to get a kind of prototype out in 2020 and likely start to do this more full-scale in 2021. And should they pull this off with a reasonable degree of safety, they'll totally revolutionize the ride-sharing industry.
This is a whole new transportation system that's being designed from scratch.
Obviously, there would need to be serious testings and such to make it safe and viable and reliable, but if it worked, it'll be one of the coolest acts of public transportation ever. Number 4. HoverBoard. Going back to the sci-fi element for a bit, the hoverboard is something we've wanted to have since seeing it on Back to the Future, and yet it's not widespread available, right? Well, there are hoverboards out there, such as the HoverBoard. The device is one that uses 30-plus electric fans to get people a foot off the ground and go about 20 kilometers per hour, which may not be the greatest flying experience ever, but you can't deny it works. In fact, the device is something you can control via your phone, and thus deliver a truly powerful controlling experience as you hover around. But unlike the jetpacks, they're not exactly efficient. On one charge, it only works for 6 minutes. But like all technologies, people are trying to make it better and more reliable. As such, we might just be riding hoverboards soon.
After the flight, I can say it was a truly amazing experience.
Number 3. HoverSurf S3. The HoverSurf S3 is most definitely one of the more unique items out there in the world right now, and for good reason. This is a bike that is very much a hover bike in that it's meant to get you off the ground, fly you through the air, and yet still operate like a motorcycle.
It is the world's first legal and commercially applicable personal drone.
You might look at it and think, that'll never fly, but you'd be wrong, very wrong in fact. Because the body of the HoverSurf S3 is made of carbon fiber, and various methods are used to spin the 4 blades of the HoverSurf S3 to get the pilot not only off the ground, but flying over 50 kilometers per hour. There are places like Dubai where you could test this out. And if you could be made available to other police forces, this could help them in chases with criminals and even keep them in line with cars during a chase without having to put other cars in danger. Plus, you're going to look like a boss riding this. Number 2. Water Jetpack. Now let's jump to one you can honestly go and enjoy right now, so long as you're near a big body of water. The water jetpack is an aquatic propulsion system that you've no doubt seen in various clips about the beach and ocean. The concept is actually very simple. You're attached to a device with a long hose. The hose sends water up to the pack and the thrusters shoot the water back down, thus allowing you to fly a good distance above the water. Plus, because of how it works, as long as you're above the water, you're going to fly. Now yes, there are some limitations and drawbacks, including doing too much and splashing down into the water. But this is an experience that has caused many to want to try this, and we can't blame them. A. It just looks cool. B. You honestly are flying. And C. Even if you crash, you're crashing into the water, and you can get right back up and try again. That's more than you could say for pretty much all of these vehicles, you know? Number 1. The Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady. While not everyone can fly the Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady, it's easily one of the most incredible flying machines ever made.
It's the hardest plane in the world to land, and one of the toughest to fly in general.
It's meant to take you 70,000 feet into the air. Yeah, it's true. This is a plane that'll basically take you into space without truly being in zero gravity. The 1 or 2 pilots that go and fly this incredible machine will be able to say they're some of the highest people on the planet, short of the people on the International Space Station. As Mythbusters showed when they went up, you'll be able to see the Earth in all its beauty. And yes, it's round. The U-2 is hailed as one of the most difficult things to fly due to its size, training, and landing procedures. But the payoff? It's worth it. Because when you land, you'll get to say that you had an experience that only few have ever had. And that's cool. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the various machines that can help you fly while looking really cool as you ride them? Do you want to own one of these machines or vehicles so you could truly fly for yourself? Which of them do you think is the coolest of the bunch? Do you know another machine that would fit perfectly on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.